I'm
Okay,
just getting,
welcome everyone.
while I'm walking, I'm just getting pen and paper.
David Samo, Bill Patton, and Andrea Dodd in the meeting. This is the CTCA, the California High School Tennis Coaches Association, and we've been busy the last couple of weeks, so we're going to discuss a couple of things. First of all, I sent all of you all of the things going on. Everything is going great. I've been also in very lengthy discussions with World Team Tennis, Delaney Mast, about having World Team Tennis Junior Nationals, winter nationals. They're excited about that. And she's also chairman of the USTA High School Committee. I asked that somebody on our committee, somebody in our group should be on that. So I haven't heard back from her. I sent that late last night. The UTR things are going great. We've gotten all the dates, all of the permissions, all of the paperwork in. It's just a matter of maybe by the end of this week, probably not because of the holiday. But by the end of the month, we'll have everything set and we'll start loading it up on the UTR website. Okay, I want to welcome David Samo, who I would love to have as part of our group. If he's going to retire from traveling, he said that he was tired of traveling, and then he travels like 10,000 million miles.
Yeah, I got contracts till the end of this year that I got to honor.
Okay, well that's
but I promise you, I am stopping at the end of this year.
Okay, well just whenever you can. I know that you told me that this year was the end of, you were going to be ended traveling. That's what he told me a long time ago.
Yeah, and yeah, 2019 is it. 2020, I'm not going to renew some of the contracts. Sorry?
Yeah, you froze up there for a second, AG. Say that over again, that last part.
I just said that I was told originally by David that he was going to be done with his contracts and traveling by the first of the year. But whenever it is done, and if he's still interested or whatever, we'd love to have him.
Yeah, sorry, I think we got the wrong year. Yeah, I meant the end of 2019. My contracts are done. So beginning of January 2020, I'm out.
Great. Well, we'll keep you posted and see.
But also, I'm going to try and wind down after the U.S. Open as well, and see if I can do more transition stuff then as well.
Right.
Because I'm getting. I started my mentoring business, which is going pretty well. I've got 6 clients. And I need to build that up, but it's very difficult when you're traveling. I can maybe have 2 more clients, but that'll be it for the moment because it's, with all the traveling, I can't service them. I have to speak to them every week or every second week, depending on who they are. But I do know that that's working well.
Right. Well, obviously, I think that in the long term or short long term, that this would be an ideal situation. I just hope that we can get to the speed that would be beneficial to you as quick as we can.
Just the last thing I'll just say on this is I've been in contact with a lawyer in Dallas who's a specialist in P1 visas, and a P1 is like you get into the States on extraordinary ability, and she's confident that I can get that visa, but she says I must do it while I'm still on tour because that carries a lot of weight.
Right.
So over this summer, that's what I'll be working on as well.
Okay, great.
Because it's really difficult to get anybody to sponsor you and give you a job and sponsor you to get a visa, because it's a big pain in the ass for them.
Right. Well, if we can use our 501c3 nonprofit to do it, we will be happy to.
Okay. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, could you ask a couple of questions on that? Or if you can put me in touch with them, I can ask them a couple of questions if you can make that introduction.
Sure.
Because even if they can't do it themselves or whatever, possibly it carries some weight. The fact that you want me involved and stuff like that.
Touch about that. Okay, Bill, you want to tell us about how we're coming with our website situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main recommendation I would make is let's wait until we have a logo to build the website, because it's kind of a cart before the horse situation. Because whatever that color scheme is and whatever that thing turns out to be, then you want to put all the dressing around it. If we have a website and then we come up with a really bold logo that has colors that conflict with what we've built as a website, then now we've got a problem. So, and it might not be all that flexible to change the website up. So anyway, so I think it would be wise for us to do that first, and then also wise to sort of flesh out what's happening on our social media, so that when we plug it in and it goes live, then people will go to the website and they'll click on all these things and they'll see something happening, rather than going to the website and having it be sort of a blank slate. And so I think it's good to hold off on that for a little bit. And we can get a really strong logo made and some other branding materials for $400 to $500, and probably closer to $400. I mean, I think we could go really the budget option, and if we just simply create a logo, then that could be had for under $400. And so I've got a really good resource on that. It's called 99 Designs. And basically what it is you fund a contest for designers. I think, we would have we would have you submit a style test. I mean, since you're the brainiac, you're the visionary, we would have you take the style test of what you would like to see. And then the artists kind of get an idea of what kind of range to work within. Then you get 10 or 20 or 30 different artists working on this, and after a few weeks you pare it down to 5 or 6 finalists, and you just we can all kind of give them feedback. Hey, I'd like it to be a little bit more like this, a little bit more like that. Hey, those colors, can you try red instead of green or whatever? All these different things. And then basically what happens is it comes down to one person is the winner. And then you take a few more days with that person to make the little final refinements. So my experience is that I've had my book covers done and had a logo created through this service. And I've been very happy with it and gotten some very good response from people about both. So, and so now we do have a Facebook page. I decided to go with a page instead of a group, just because it's a little easier to administrate. And then I took an existing tennis Twitter account that I already had and renamed it. And so we have a Twitter account as well. And then next up will be Instagram. We don't have that yet. But I'm kind of brainstorming about whether I'm going to reappropriate something that I already have or start a new one fresh. And then there was one other thing.
Without the logo, it's probably because Instagram is very visual. So I think if you kind of need the logo, you know, as the catchy part for the Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
without a logo. I mean, you can put a logo later.
I mean, it is really interesting how captivating a good logo is, you know, and so sometimes I see a flashy logo and then I dig a little deeper and maybe I'm impressed or I'm not impressed with what I see after that, but the logo got me started looking. So, I mean, having that look really sharp, like, look at that logo right there on Andrea. I mean, that's a sharp logo right there, and it makes me want to read it and go, what is that? So anyway, yeah, great. That's a great point. But then also we've got the YouTube channel, which is, you know, has been up and running for a couple of weeks now, and I'm posting these meetings there. So putting it all together.
What's going to happen? We're doing probably 35 or 40 UTRs this summer, and that should bring us some working capital. So we can fund this quickly, hire that done, do this done, get it designed, stuff like that. So if we could just hold off just a little bit more. We're doing 8 UTR things at my Laguna Hills High School. We're doing 10 Saturday UTRs with coaching at Sage School. We're doing 1 a month at Mission Viejo Marguerite Center. We've got the preseason tournament UTR 3-day event. We have the Marguerite, which is in October. We have a co-ed high school event between Christmas and New Year's, and hopefully maybe World Tennis Junior Nationals. And then we have the girls, the boys preseason on Martin Luther King weekend. And also I started the ball rolling with Wilson, who said they wanted to be our sponsor. I've asked Delaney Mask that we need funds, that we need to be funded. And I sent her a lot of material last night about what we've done so far. She says she's been watching and stuff like that. So, and I said I wanted Billie Jean King to be our keynote speaker.
Okay, awesome. So now, do we have any money in the bank?
Well,
yeah, we probably need a treasurer, you know, but how are we doing for money in the bank?
Well, right now it's, you know, I'm putting my money in, you know,
so we don't have anything really unless it comes out of AG's pocket.
Sort of, right, but that's going to change. And so,
okay.
You know, Andrea could be our treasurer or something like that, you know.
All right.
Or you.
So here, I would strongly recommend that the first $500 that we get into would be directed towards the logo and then the website, because the website will then also help drive traffic to those tournaments. Right. You know, if the tournament links to a website, it kind of lends more legitimacy and whatnot, and people can see all the smiling faces of the stakeholders and all that. So yeah, I mean, I hope we can do it at the earliest possible time, because it will facilitate making, you know, getting more business, getting more done, you know, creating earlier and better credibility.
I think that we'll be able to do that by the end of June.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good goal. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
You just
Strapline in one or maximum 2 sentences. What is the objective of the organization?
Okay, the objective of the organization is to help high school tennis in California by a lot of it's a continuing education for high school coaches here, because 90% of the coaches in California are walk-on maybe they're a math teacher that played a little tennis. They have no experience. They don't have any deal. And they need to know how to do draws, how to do tryouts, how to do drills. It's also a way we're showing them, and UTR is, how they can raise funds, because 60% of what high school coaches of any sport have to do in California, because it's not funded like in Texas or Florida or other states, is we have to raise money. We have to do car washes and sell candy at Halloween, and wrapping paper at Christmas, and work concession stands at football games to put money in our budget. And these UTR weekend one-day things, a school could make $500 or $600 net. They do. We make our share. They make some, and their kids can play a tournament without being a member of the USTA or going to a 2-weekend tournament. 75 miles away, get beat 0-0, and then drive back. They're going to play 3 or 4 matches.
Because I think it's really important that there's a very sharp message of what you're trying to achieve, and I think that will help you guys as well. I mean, what I'm hearing is high school coach education and competition opportunities for high school players.
Well, that's also, we want to help the high school players get recognition from the college coaches that are looking for them, and have them help and play, because there are a lot of good players that can't play the national tournaments or the level 3s. And
so high school competition and college awareness for players.
That's correct. Also,
college exposure.
More exposure, and but just getting more recognition for high school tennis. I mean, we're always buried in the back pages of the sports pages and stuff like that. And, I lost my train of thought for a second there, but it's to help the program. It's help tennis, and it's an untapped right now. The United Tennis Association is looking for anything they can, and the most important thing is it's low hanging fruit. They've got these 250,000 tennis players that play tennis, and then after high school they don't play anymore. They don't join the USTA. They don't play tournaments. They don't play leagues. And if we can get them involved, also, this one thing, the really good players don't play because, I don't get any points. I don't get any UTR. I don't get by using UTR, we want to have the exposure of having a weekly Power 9, like the Power 6 in collegiate tennis right now. You can look online every week which college is number 1, 2, 3, 4 in Division 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can look up if you want to go to, let's say, Claremont to play, and you're a 9.5, and you look up and see that the average team player is 11.5. Well, you don't even bother with them. You go look at another school that you can match. So it's a win-win for everything. Exposure. We hopefully get the better players. If you say, I get UTR points and I get this stuff and I get recognition, well, I'll play high school tennis as opposed to go to an academy and homeschool.
Yeah.
I am desperately trying to find the email that I wrote where we had a mission statement written.
Right.
So, looking that up, and it's buried somewhere. So, but yeah, I mean, we have a very concise mission statement, and then we also wrote up some objectives for 2019. I think we have 5 pretty clear objectives. Let me go through my files here. Maybe I put that it's not in an email, it's in a file. So anyway, I'm searching.
So I think it's really important that
we have
we have an elevator pitch. What are you about? We have to all kind of know the elevator pitch.
Ultimately it's about, we're here to promote high school tennis to help coaches gain more skill and provide business opportunities for coaches to be able to, raise funds for their programs.
Okay.
In California, they don't like here in Texas. They get a lot of their funds from the school districts. In California, they don't. So most all the programs are in a hole. So by doing these tournaments, they can help fundraise monies for their own programs, which these tournaments will also in turn start promoting tennis in the community, even from middle school or whatever, and just help grooming their programs as they get, further along. So, so that's like AG took over one program and they were, 10,000 in the hole or something like that. Yeah. And, and he had very limited resources on how he could fundraise money. So now that, we could say it's a UTR tournament or, we're under a nonprofit, well, then these schools can do tournaments per se and have other schools come and participate. And it's promoting tennis, it's promoting the program, the different programs, but the high school programs are making money for their program, for the buses, for the balls, for whatever else, because the high school boys tennis, the boys tennis, that's what's fallen down big time, and, I just think it's real important that we just kind of keep promoting the sport, so.
We do have, I don't know if it's necessarily a mission statement, but we have a list of our priorities. And actually we have goals for 2019, 2020. And, I started this 12 years ago and then I got cancer and then Cindy got Parkinson's. And so it's sort of on hold, but I did a lot of work on it. And so with you guys' help, we're taking off now. We're taking off. And you know what, even I was approached by David Fish with UTR 10 years ago, and I said, man, that's not going to work. And then he got sick, and I come back, and he's got Oracle, and everybody, and it's like, wow. And I'm selling these to high schools. All these high schools are going to do these. I don't care. The goal is to have every high school in California do one a month at their school and make $500, $600, $700 their share. We get a third of that. We get $300 out of it just to do it for them. And we're going to use our platform for they sign up through us. We collect the money, we give it to them. They just have to furnish the balls in the courts, and they get money, and their kids play right there on a Saturday. So that's a huge thing right there. I cannot tell you how having to raise money, just like running out of balls and asking for somebody to bring you a case of balls, give you to school and stuff like that. It's crazy. Now, obviously, Sage Hill is a different story. That's one out of that. It's $40,000 a year to go to school there, and they don't want you asking them for anything, so they give you everything. I got all the balls I need, all the ball machines, all that stuff like that. But the public schools, and there's 3,000 of them in California, and it's an untapped thing, Right, and we're using I looked at all kinds of models. I checked almost all the different high school coaches associations in the United States, and the best one is the Texas one. Of course, they've been around a long time. They don't. I looked at charging dues and trying to collect it. That's not going to work here because the coaches don't have any money. And so what they do in Texas is they have a yearly convention, 3 days at Horseshoe Bay or in Austin or something like that. They get all the sponsors. They got it's all sponsored by Wilson, Head, Dunlop. They send their their top people like the Coach Smith from USC or the Michael Center from Texas, not anymore, or the Bryan brothers or Wayne Bryan to give clinics on the courts and stuff like that. And then they have seminars and classrooms, and the fee is like $150 or something. But the schools pay it because it's continuing education. That's one thing that the schools here will do. If it's continuing education for a math teacher or a soccer coach or a tennis coach, they'll pay that. And so with the goal is, if you go to the convention, you're a member for a year. So it's a membership but non-membership. But we're talking about over $100,000 that comes in from the dues. This is for Texas. And it's net clear profit because the expenses are paid for by Wilson, Dunlop, Head, Babolat, those kind of people. You know, the Babolat courts. David Smith from USC is going to be sponsoring Babolat. Is going to be giving a clinic on how to do double strokes. And then from 9 to 10:30 we have so and so for doing this and that. And signs are everywhere. But that's the goal.
Got it.
Right. The UTR is going to be our backbone, and David Fish, not officially but unofficially, is we're on the ground floor. So I'm going to post it by June 1st. We're supposed to nail something down that we can be the official high school UTR, whatever. So anything that's done through high schools, you know, not. And it's very interesting. I'm, of course, in 2 different leagues because I coach at Sage and I coach with Laguna Hills. And we have the end of the season meeting with the coaches. They all go like, well, how can I have a UTR fundraiser? So, well, you have to pay $300 to join and have to do this and you have to do this. Or you can go to the CTCA. We already have a platform. We'll put your name on the thing like that. We keep 30%. You get 70%. And oh, I like that. I like that. That's all I have to do is just sign up and put it on, and you run it, and you furnish balls.
So Dave Fish is on board.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
We met.
Dave Fish is one of the honchos for UTR, right? And then
he's the main man.
The most important development there is that they have made UTR free for high school coaches, high school programs through the remainder of 2019. And when I asked the question, when does that end? They didn't say that it would. They didn't say, oh, forever, but I think they intend to keep that free for high school coaches until they create a really tremendous critical mass. And then, you know, sometime in the future, you know, a couple years down the road, then they'll.
But if everybody's making money out of UTR, then they won't mind paying something.
Right.
The old Facebook thing. Get all the people in and then start selling advertising.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You have to have a captive audience. So, but, you know, I mean,
UTR, I spoke to Dave Fish and UTR have got some pretty big plans.
Well, I think the greatest thing about UTR for a high school coach is that, I think there are a couple of really main benefits. One, the biggest one to me is it will start to show high school kids the pathway to college tennis. Yes. You know, they'll start to see, hey, this Division III coach wants, you know, 9s, 10s, and 11s or whatever, and I'm a 7.5, so I've got some improving I need to do, or whatever. I don't know the ranges, but
gives them a target.
It gives them a target. It starts for them to see what's in the realm of possibility, and you know what? With my kids, I have to sell them the highest level academic institution, you know, because my kids want to go to Caltech and Ivy League schools and all that crazy stuff. So if I can say, hey, MIT is a Division III school, you could play tennis there, then, and the UTR range they're looking for is this, that's pretty huge. And then, you know, then the other thing too is that in order to attract strong players, if we can use UTR to set our lineup so that maybe, hey, we're playing a weaker school, so we don't need you, you know, today because you're a top-ranked player and you're going to win 0-0 today. We know it. So take the day off because, you know, I can put this other lineup in and we're still going to win. You know, there's more, the level of predictability for UTR is amazing. There was somebody who did who looked at a 142 draw and all of the results except for 2 in that 142 draw were accurately predicted by the ratings. And the 2 that weren't predicted, the ratings were so close that you could call it a pick'em, you know, 50-50, a toss-up. So yeah. I like that you can do that with your lineup, and then, you know, you're not wasting people's time on non-competitive matches.
By the way,
as much
high tournament, which is the most biggest high school. Well, it's Ohio's Pac-10. It's everything, but it has high school boys. And for the first time, they did the draw using only UTR. Before, it was a committee would sit there and, okay, this person is this, this person beat that person. UTR. They put the top 64 people by UTR in the draw. The others are you know, there's only a 64 draw and over 200 people apply, and then they take the best. And the doubles, they just take the 2 doubles players and add their score together, and they took the top 64 like that. And it makes it so much easier. And
I tell you, I mean, I think UTR, I'll make a prediction, in 10 years' time, will be making inroads into pro tennis.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
I think, yeah, I'll go you one further. I think UTR will probably supplant all other forms of competitive tennis in the United States.
I don't doubt that, because tennis has always missed out on the one thing that golf has, a handicap system. And UTR is a natural handicap system that is now accurate enough for it to be, people can play their standard. Tennis has always had a huge problem with people struggling to find the right competitive level. And golf obviously has been able to do that with the handicap. But this is the first time that tennis can do it, which is why it will supplant, and it will become a worldwide phenomenon, because somebody in America can play someone in Japan. They go on holiday and they can find somebody of the same standard, and the standard will be recognizable, or, you know, standardized around the world.
Let me just tell you what's happened in our little UTR play day. What people nowadays, the tennis clubs are going broke. You want to play some doubles, mixed doubles, or you play a tournament. Now they want to be in and out. So what they love about it, the first 8, the highest 8 people are in the A draw, which starts at 8 o'clock and is done by 10:30. The next 8 are in the B draw, which starts at 10:30 and is over by 12, and like that. So, and then they register online up until Friday before. We put the draw online. They can see what time they play, and they can see who's entered. And we have had 5-year-old kids, 6-year-old kids come and play in the 1-0 with 1-0s and 1.2s. You know, we've had 45-year-old men come play. Some of our high school ladies. It doesn't matter. It makes it so easy. And they're 06 blowouts. And so it just, you run an event, you just go, okay, the top 8 are here, the next 8, and you play a compass draw in your group of 8. So you're going to play 3 matches that are competitive. It's so easy.
All right, let's put a wrap on it. This is where we have less than a minute.
I finally got to see. How you doing, Dave? You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm going to Paris tomorrow. I'm looking forward to a good swing of 3 Grand Slams, and maybe I'll get lucky and get a really good result in 1 or 2 of them.
All right. Good luck to you, Dave.
Thanks, everybody. It's I'm a lot clearer in my head now about what you're trying to do. Thank you.
All right, cool.
I'll find that mission statement and send it out again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.